This is TechCrunch.
A recent letter from OpenAI reveals more details about how the company is hoping the federal government can support the company's ambitious plans for data center construction. The letter from OpenAI's Chief Global Affairs Officer, Chris Lehane, and addressed to the White House's Director of Science and Technology Policy, Michael Kratsios, argued that the government should consider expanding the Advanced Manufacturing Investment Credit beyond semiconductor fabrication to cover electrical grid components, AI servers, and AI data centers. The Advanced Manufacturing Investment Credit is a 35% tax credit that was included in the Biden administration's CHIPS Act. Lehane wrote, "Broadening coverage of the AMIC will lower the effective cost of capital, de-risk early investment, and unlock private capital to help alleviate bottlenecks and accelerate the AI build in the U.S." OpenAI's letter also called for the government to accelerate the permitting and environmental review process for these projects, and to create a strategic reserve of raw materials, such as copper, aluminum, and processed rare earth minerals, needed to build AI infrastructure. The company first published its letter on October 27th, but it didn't get much press attention until this week, when comments by OpenAI executives prompted broader discussion about what the company wants from the Trump administration. At a Wall Street Journal event on Wednesday, CFO Sarah Frier said the government should backstop OpenAI's infrastructure loans, though she later posted on LinkedIn that she misspoke. OpenAI is not seeking a government backstop for our infrastructure commitments. I used the word backstop and it muddied the point. CEO Sam Altman also weighed in, writing that OpenAI does not have or want government guarantees for OpenAI data centers. "We believe that governments should not pick winners or losers, and that taxpayers should not bail out companies that make bad business decisions or otherwise lose in the market," he wrote, though he said the company had discussed loan guarantees as part of supporting the build-out of semiconductor fabs in the U.S. In the same post, Altman wrote that the company expects to end 2025 above $20 billion in annualized revenue run rate and grow to hundreds of billions by 2030, and he said OpenAI has made $1.4 trillion in capital commitments for the next 8 years. A rough week for tech stocks might signal a loss of investor confidence in artificial intelligence. The Wall Street Journal reports that the NASDAQ Composite Index was down 3%, making this its worst week since President Donald Trump announced his sweeping tariff plan in April. Tech companies that have otherwise performed well this year were among those hardest hit, with Palantir's stock price falling 11% this week, Oracle declining by 9%, and Nvidia losing 7%. These drops also come after earnings reports in which Meta and Microsoft indicated that they plan to continue spending heavily on AI. Both companies were down about 4%. Crescent Capital's Jack Ablin told the WSJ, "Valuations are stretched. Just the slightest bit of bad news gets exaggerated, and good news is just not enough to move the needle because expectations are already pretty high." Economic factors like the ongoing government shutdown, declining consumer sentiment, and widespread layoffs are also likely dragging down the stock market, but the less tech-heavy S&P 500 and Dow Jones Industrial Average didn't do quite as badly, with declines of 1.6% and 1.2% respectively. While Apple's iPhone already supports texting, calling emergency services, and contacting roadside assistance via satellite connectivity, the company has many more satellite-powered features in the works. That's according to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman. In-development features reportedly include an API allowing app makers to support satellite connections in their own apps, a version of Apple Maps that allows users to navigate without a cell or Wi-Fi connection, adding photos to messaging, and increased support for natural usage, allowing users to connect to a satellite even if their phone isn't pointed directly at the sky. All of these features would potentially increase the usability of iPhones when their owners are outside the range of traditional cell networks. Another potential upgrade, first reported by The Information, could improve 5G networks by allowing them to connect to satellites for increased coverage. The basic features would be free, Gurman says, with customers paying carriers for more advanced support. In addition, Apple's satellite partner Globalstar reportedly needs to improve its infrastructure to support these upgrades, which Apple is helping to finance. That's it from TechCrunch. For more stories like these, go to TechCrunch.com.